Hello, beautiful ladies, and welcome to this week's blog. I'm Vicky Murgatroyd from Life Empowerment Project, and this week I wanted to connect a little deeper and share my personal story of overcoming fear. So I used to define myself as someone who's very fearful. I would back away from most challenges, if you like, that forced me to get out of my comfort zone, and therefore I wasn't creating consistent growth, and so I was frustrated with myself. So I wanted to share a little bit about my kind of rituals, etc., that helped me to feel the fear and just do it anyway. So firstly, and one of the most important things I learned very early on in my journey, which has served me exceptionally well, you're always going to feel fear. Always. You can have connections to that of how you overcome it. But if you're not feeling fear, it's probably because you're not growing. And I know if you're tuning in now, you're growth oriented. So I know it's a big thing for you to overcome that fear. And I know how much you have to give when you overcome that fear. It's exactly where I've come from. And it's exactly where I'd love to see you go as well. So number one, a daily ritual. A daily ritual where that's the first thing I do every single day. And it really gets me into state. I listen to music. I project on times that I've been particularly grateful for. Felt a lot of love, felt a lot of certainty, felt a lot of confidence, and then I project outward and I really affirm to myself those things, those reasons why I'm doing it. What are the outcomes going to be? What kind of life am I leading? Who am I helping? How many people am I helping, etc., etc. And all of a sudden that becomes ingrained in your mind, in your body, in your spirit, in your vibrational frequency, and it's easy to step into that peak state, because when you're in peak state, you don't back down from fear. But when you're in a weakened state and you're in protection and you're in desperation, that fear can seem overwhelming. When you daily connect with the reasons why you're doing it, that's massive, and the fear's tiny. So all of a sudden it's much more manageable. So secondly, of how I feel the fear and do it anyway, is I really get conscious of what it is that I feel fear around. I was very good, and we all are, at validating my own excuses. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. I'm just not ready to do that yet. It's not fitting time to do that in my business. You're scared, and that's okay. But the minute you get conscious is the minute, again, you take that control back, because all of a sudden you're aware of what has to be done. And because you know that's the thing that's scaring you, you also know that that is the thing that's going to create growth in you. So connecting to those things that really scare you. So one of the things that I did, because I was very scared of being on video, and very scared in particular of sharing on my personal Facebook feed. I had friends from years ago and people in my life who I don't really talk to anymore, but for some reason I was very bothered about their opinion, as we usually get. But when I realised that that was something I was really avoiding, I did a 30-day challenge. So I would put a live up every single day on my Facebook feed and just go for it. And all of a sudden, it's easy for me to do those things. So I built the habit. It's not as much fear anymore. So getting conscious of the things that are scaring you and challenging yourself to be the person who steps up and makes that happen. Because remember, there's a version of you in the future who's living your dream life, who's already there now. Now, she has transcended your thinking, your feeling, your habits, your patterns, and that's why she's created something different in her life. When you short circuit that by facing the things that are creating fear in you now, then all of a sudden, shortcut that journey and you're living that life much quicker than if you continue just to avoid those things that are creating fear in you. So become conscious of those things that create fear, grab them with both hands and do it anyway, because you can. And one of the biggest tips I have in order to really create those that momentum in terms of doing the things that scare you, it's just a feeling. It's not real. It's not going to get you. It's not going to hurt you. Nothing's going to happen. It's just a feeling. And when you connect with that, you connect with where it is in your body. You connect with how your breathing's different. You connect with how your posture's different when you feel fear. All of a sudden, you're back in control. Those feelings lessen. You can control how you're breathing again, which changes your state, and you take those reins back. When you know that it's just a feeling, it doesn't have that power over you. Again, it goes from being a huge thing to being a manageable thing. And that is huge, because again, you're going to have to face it anyway. You can face it while it's massive, or you can face it when you've shrunk it down because you've taken control. It's just a sensation. Fear doesn't happen to you. You are doing the process that creates fear. And finally, a topic that we covered last week, identity. When you identify yourself as somebody who faces their fears and just does it, all of a sudden, the action flows. Remember that your identity is one of the strongest things. So you can affirm in your daily ritual that you do every morning now that you face your fears, that you step up and do it anyway. One of my favourite mantras in my morning ritual is that people need me to step up. It takes me out of myself, puts me back into my purpose and my goal and my power state, rather than being, oh, but I'm scared, and it creates fear in me. People need you to step up. People need you to step up. Whatever industry you're in, people are relying on you. And that's an amazing, amazing power to have, because again, it gives you all that support from around you instead of it just being you facing this big fear. So my tips for feeling the fear and doing it anyway, what's really worked for me is having a daily ritual that puts me into my peak state. It's choosing to know what's creating fear in me and choosing to do it. Really getting conscious of those things instead of just being able to avoid them and back away. Choose to be the person who faces those fears. Connect with the fact that feeling fear is something that you do, not something that happens to you, and it puts that control really back in your hand. Again, when you're connecting with the why every single day, the results of your actions, who you're going to help, how your life's going to be, again, fear shrinks, the vision's bigger, you're more connected with the vision than you are with the fear, and the action will come much more easily and naturally. But please do not think you're going to get to a stage where there is no fear. There's always going to be that little bit of trepidation, and life would be boring without it. So they're my tips of what's worked for me to feel the fear and do it anyway. So I really genuinely hope that these are an asset to your life as well. I know this work has completely transformed my life and what I'm able to achieve and who I'm able to spend my time with, and it is phenomenal, and I want the same for you as well. So I hope these have helped, and I cannot wait to see you on next week's blog. In the meantime, if you're struggling with these concepts, please get in touch. Click below, book in for a call with us. We will get connected first on a short call. If we're the right fit, we'll go ahead and we'll talk about getting you into the 8-week transformation, making that huge shift for you that is just unstoppable. So you become the master of your fear, you become the master of your emotion, and really you can utilize that amazing feminine space to propel you in the most amazing way to live that life that you dream about. So again, it's been a pleasure, guys, and I love having you tune in each week. So thank you very much, and I cannot wait to see you on next week's blog. In the meantime, live empowered and be inspired.